scream bravo. Also, if you didn't know, this is called the show.
Hey everybody, it's Paul from Gauntlet Comix. Today is January 3rd, 2020, and today we're going to be reviewing The Fat Ninja number 1 in our Eye for Indie series. So this is a really interesting comic book. I got this back in 1986. And as a reminder, back then we didn't have the internet. All we had was basically typed out lists from different comic book stores and comics to get. Back then I was also in the alternative scene. So I liked anything that was a little bit outside of your normal industry standards of the big two. I got to brag on myself. I've kept this in great condition over all these years with a black cover. Very little wear on the edges. So that's me patting myself on the back. So let's jump into this book. We'll also go over a little bit about the publisher and the artist and the writer. So basically the premise of this book is the Fat Ninja. It goes through to describe his skills. For instance, he's as fearless as a mountain. By the way, let's back up here. I started to cover this pretty cool ad, the Dungeoneers. Look at that. This, of course, is like many indie comics back then. It was black and white. Cover was color. As we go through, it keeps describing his different skills. Thump. But he is also a rock among the strong. That just cracks me up. I was really impressed with all the ink work in this, even back then. It was amazing to me. Look at this. In true comic book tradition. Look at that. May heaven help the prey of the Fat Ninja. The Galactic Refrigerator, Part 1. Look at that splash page. He's attacking a lunch wagon. So, as you see, it was put out August 1986, published by Silver Wolf Comics. Story, plot, scripts, and letters by Kristoffer A. Silver. And over here, layouts, pencils, inks, and cover by Gary Amaro. So I looked into Silver Wolf, and once again, you find that, like many of my independents I've reviewed, the publishing company basically went out of business or got bought. So just to really put this up here, it was started by Kristoffer A. Silver in 1986, mainly working with titles and characters he created. The company ceased publication in 1987, but resurfaced as Greater Mercury Comics in 1989. They're best known for widespread publicity of art by Tim Vigil, his work on Grips, with a few titles that continued beyond the first handful of issues. They also published some of the first work by Ron Lim, who drew the first 4 pages of the Grip story in Silver Wolf Bulletin number 2. The closing of Silver Wolf and the beginning of Greater Mercury was described by Silver in an editorial originally published within Tink issue 1. He claims he wasn't paid for his product by other companies such as Crown, Glenwood, and Comic Express, while others denied receiving his product and refused to pay. The article is heavy with blame for several parties involved, including his own employees, specifically stating, okay, let me get you down to this quote. A number of people who worked at Silver Wolf became disenchanted when they realized that they could no longer be a part of the comic book industry. They were knocked off the imaginary pedestal that they had set themselves upon. I became the object of their frustration. So be it. I cannot worry myself over childish temper tantrums. At the conclusion of the editorial, claims he retrieved the rights of his characters and Greater Mercury remained solvent. So Greater Mercury is still around. So let's go ahead and we'll look at Gary Amaro. Look at that. 211 records found for his credits. Books of Magic for DC and Vertigo. Looks like he did a ton of work for DC and Vertigo. Ton of work. I think I saw on here The Omen, which is another book. I don't think I have really covered that one yet, but it has great art, great writing. Fantastic Fables by Silverwolf, Fat Ninja, Hellblazer, Vertical Sampler, Mythos. And if my records are right, he is now a professor in a college, which wouldn't surprise me with all his work he's done. Vertical Rave. So to say the least, he's had a lot of work over the years. Okay, I'll skip forward a little bit. A lot of vertical work here. Go to the last page. So, to say the least, he's got some talent. You can see this in this book. I love his different points of view. His ink work is incredible on here. Excuse my clock there. Got cross hatching. Like the use of the black lines on the panels. Really makes it pop. And there it is. The galactic refrigerator gets unplugged. One thing they established in this is that the Fat Ninja loves food. Absolutely adores food. The source of it, how it's prepared, everything. So the galactic refrigerator gets unplugged and all hell breaks loose with food supply. He goes looking for food everywhere. Nobody has any. His favorite places are closed. Look at that. The hash work on that. Incredible. Great perspective. I really like this page too, how he does this building. He's tried all his favorite restaurants, which he has often preyed upon. No more hamburgers. Food specials, chopped up. I don't know if that's KFC, but it's got cobwebs on it. He's growing desperate. He's with the Ravens, but he can't really eat them. They're made for thinking. A lot of use of dark in here, too. I mean, look at this. That's really hard to pull off. Nice use there. Then he comes upon an old friend, finds his sword in his back. And then we meet his nemesis, the Shadow. A fight engages and they go all night. Look at that hash work. That use of white with the hash work there. I really like that too. Look at this. Finally, the Shadow trips him up, gets his sword stuck in the wall. Goes back and gets the old man's sword. Once again, this incredible use of dark. That's really understanding your inking process and how it's going to happen, as well as your publishing process. Goes back to get the Shadow, and the Shadow disappears. He knows that the Shadow has to have oh wait, he didn't disappear yet. Now the battle goes through the night with the old man's sword. Light comes and then the Shadow disappears, of course. Look how defeated he looks. That. One thing I loved about this is, there's so many ways this could have gone wrong with jokes, but they did it justice. They made it serious, but they made it funny at the same time. So he goes back, wondering where to find the Shadow. He decides to take the hunt to the Shadow and finds where he lives. This is cool. This talks about him waiting. what he does really well. And don't let anybody fool you. This kid can wait. And look at how they portray this. Infinite squares. Up to here. Finally goes in. Once again, the artwork in this is just incredible. Okay. Ooh, hope I didn't tear that. And they really do affirm that the Fat Ninja isn't a joke. He can fight. Absolutely. And great hash work. Leading him into a room. Fat Ninja attacks. Here's your final page. Introduction of somebody new. Yeah. Too late. He realizes error and has been herded like a side of beef to the slaughter. Shadow has led him to a well-planned trap. Love the detail on his sword. This room line work is really cool too. Very fine line work. I'm impressed with this artist. This is what made me buy 2 and 3 as well. Be here in 30 days. So we come back here. This is a letter, Fat Grams, care of Alexander Comix. I didn't really look that up. Sacramento, California. Here it is, the first issue of Fat Ninjas, finally in print. This book has been a long time in coming. It began almost a year ago as a vague concept of mine. Another artist attempted to give this character form, but failed to come up with something serious but funny at the same time. See, they were looking for that. Then Gary Amaro, short Amaro, it took me 9 months to get it right, came along and set the record straight. The Fat Ninja you see is the Fat Ninja he delivered. From my descriptions of the idea, needless to say, I was very happy. Then he started on the book. After beginning, we continued. Then we continued some more. Next, we continued. Guess what? We did next. That's right. We continued again. So basically, this is the letter saying that, what the process is and to be looking for more because they already got done. They're pretty much sure that but issue 3 is nearly complete. Issue 2 is also getting to the process. So they're giving you some hope on it. A little ad for Silver Fox. You know how weird it is? I kept looking at this going, not Silver Fox, Silver Wolf Comics, and I kept wanting to put a .com there. No .coms back then. The following pages of Fat Ninja number 1 are for sale. So this would be for the pages specifically, page art. Isn't that an interesting way to do that? Also for sale are the premiere special printings. They're black and white comics, 5.5 by 8.5, with a 2-color cover. There were only 350 issues printed, and they were all signed by Kristoffer A. and Gary Amaro. Each issue is hand-numbered. The cost for each premiere printing is $9.95. The following numbers are still available. 51 through 350. So we flip this over, and here's an ad for Grips, the one they were talking about. And that was... This is interesting with the graffiti-style lettering. See, Tim Vigil. But great art nonetheless. So, thanks for watching. That was Fat Ninja, issue number 1 by Silverwolf, 1986. Next Thursday, we'll be doing Hawkverine Devil Fever. I'll probably be doing a Hulk book. And then next Friday, of course, Eye for Indies again. I may continue with this and do Fat Ninja number 2. I don't know. We'll see. So, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. And thank you for commenting. If you're new, Look for other great content on my channel, Gold Gauntlet Comics. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend.